Autumn, a season of huge change. All around us, the landscape is changing. The trees full of all them colours of greens, browns, yellow ochres and oranges. The trees beginning to lose them leaves off their branches, coating the ground with a sea of orange. The fruits of autumn, bright red and vibrant. The night before sessions, the house filled with the smell of hemp and beetling, before an early start in the morning down the dark motorways of the UK to the river. Our journeys take us to rivers large and small, where the effort is rewarded with beautiful, bright red sunrises, cutting through the landscape with the leaves dancing along the surface to their destination. The only thing missing is a float moving alongside them. With the temperatures beginning to drop, my attention also turns to other species like pike, watching that float out in the water, but more on that on the vlog in the coming weeks. But it's safe to say that a few celebratory brews were in order. The days in autumn are really short and we have to make the most of those windows of opportunity. A late dart down the motorway after doing a school run, I was soon on the banks of the river, walking along its banks enjoying the beautiful scenery, the green ranunculus weed, a grayling holding in the margin, and all the sights and the sounds of the river. Along the way, admiring all the opportunities that presented itself in them likely looking swims. Walking through the undergrowth into a beautiful swim we'd fished recently, I began making a plan of how to attack it. Stout and strong tackle and refinement in equal measure with my core and glide and centre pin reel. That teamed up with a small float down to the finesse of a light hook link of £3 line and a size 20 hook. A short swim, key was to get bait down on the swim and draw the fish up using a very underused tool in a bait dropper loaded with the maggots and hemp, and you can see that bait now just clinging to the bottom, and we run that float over the top. The hope was of course for Mr. Chub, but how can you be not disappointed with two beautiful grayling, the vivid purples in the gill, silver flank and that dorsal. Beautiful example of the species. It wasn't long until we were back walking the bank and along the way taking in all that beautiful nature and the colours around us. Hemp seed and maggot play a huge part in my angling. The hemp seed's ability just to hold on the bottom to give that bed for the fish to hold over, and I began in the next swim by introducing a few more of those bait droppers of hemp and maggot. The float going through the swim and the centre pin spinning to the beat of the river. It wasn't long till that float buried and we was into the first chub of the session. So a few droppers of bait have gone into the swim. I've let it rest for a while. The first drop down, that float is buried. The solid resistance of either a chub or a trout. It wasn't long until the golden flanks of a chub lay in the landing net and that yellow on its gill cover, the perfect colours of autumn. For the short period of time in autumn, the leaves coming down the river, as beautiful as they look, offer that period of frustration for the float fishing with an angler. So it didn't take long for that float to disappear, that centre pin to spin with the defiance of a chub, and a lovely bend in that carbon. Exactly what we come for. That chub fighting defiantly underneath the water like they always do, but eventually up came them white lips of a chub to the net, the perfect sight in autumn. In the landing net against them autumn leaves, it just epitomised the reason why I'd headed out the house that morning, and what a beautiful sight in the net. Like the very river that you're fishing, the time ebbs and flows away before you know it, and it wasn't long until we were leaving the banks, two beautiful chub in the net and one happy angler. I really do hope you have enjoyed this week's vlog and look forward to sharing them autumn adventures with you to come. And all that remains is for me to wish you all tight lines in your own fishing, and I'll catch you all next week.